Y'all, we need to talk, 'cause what went down at the Emmys this year? Nobody saw this one coming. While the spotlight was supposed to shine on Kendrick Lamar's surprise tribute moment, somehow the internet turned all its attention to wait for a Tina Fey. Yes, that Tina Fey. And before you say, nah, she would never, baby, she did. Cameras caught her off mic, barely clapping, throwing side eyes, mouthing something, and now fans are 99% sure it was shade directed at Drake. Twitters already calling it the Mean Girls monologue, and let me tell you, the tea is scalding. Some folks are saying Tina called Drake a ghostwriter with Grammys, while others claim she questioned his entire cultural relevance during Kendrick's moment of glory. And what's worse? The mic picked up just enough for light breeders to do their thing, and now social media is in flames. Was it a joke gone wrong? Or is there real beef brewing between Hollywood comedy royalty and Toronto's very own Champagne Poppy? You won't believe who jumped in to defend Drake and who low-key co-signed Tina's shade. Buckle up, because this story has drama, betrayal, and even a secret voicemail leak. Let's get into it. All right, so boom. Here's where things really started to spiral. It was supposed to be Kendrick Lamar's big night, a surprise Emmy tribute performance honoring Black excellence in television. And the whole building was already buzzing. Cameras were rolling, the audience was locked in, and even the usually too cool to clap celebs were standing up to show respect. Kendrick came out with a live band, full orchestration, a huge screen behind him showing images of legendary Black TV moments, and the crowd was loving it. The vibes were electric. But then, something very different happened as the camera panned across the audience to show reactions. Eagle-eyed fans on social media caught a very particular moment. Tina Fey, seated 2 rows behind the main center, leaned over to Amy Poehler and said something that made Amy's eyebrows shoot straight up. Not just that, Tina immediately pursed her lips and looked directly at Drake, who was seated front and center with a casual smirk on his face. Fans wasted no time. Within minutes, slow-mo lip-reading videos started circulating. And the general consensus, Tina Fey said, quote, "It's cute they let him sit there like he wrote half of this." Woo, now we don't know if she meant Kendrick's lyrics or something else entirely, but the damage was done. Twitter lost its mind. One fan tweeted, "Not Tina Fey calling Drake a ghostwriter at the Emmys? Girl, he don't even know you." Another posted a clip saying Kendrick really brought peace and poetry to the Emmys, and Tina Fey turned it into the Bet Hip Hop Awards, the memes. Instant Drake's face photoshopped into Mean Girls scenes. Tina Fey standing behind Kendrick with a "You can't sit with us" sign. It was wild, but here's the kicker. This wasn't just some harmless side-eye moment. Apparently, this wasn't the first time Tina Fey had made slick comments about rappers in elite Hollywood spaces. It's a resurfaced interview from a 2021 podcast had Tina joking that she didn't understand why everyone acts like Drake invented feelings. She laughed it off, but now fans were connecting dots. And Drake's team? Oh, they noticed sources close to Drake say he was visibly annoyed after the Emmy segment. Someone sitting near him claimed he leaned over to his publicist and said, "She always got something slick to say. Like, we won't pull up a pen too?" Now, obviously, that last line sent Twitter into full theory mode. Was Drake hinting at a diss track? Was he throwing shade back in private, or would he go public? And just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, enter Kendrick Lamar. After the show, backstage cameras caught a super quick moment where Kendrick walks by Tina and Amy, nods politely, and Tina kind of smirks and says, "That was very poetic." Not sure it was TV though. The audio was low, but some fans claim that's exactly what she said. Kendrick didn't even stop walking, kept moving, stone-faced, like he'd heard it all before. The next morning, TMZ caught up with Tina outside a coffee shop in West Hollywood. The reporter straight up asked her, "Did you mean to throw shade at Drake during the Emmys?" Tina, wearing oversized sunglasses and sipping from a metal straw, gave a smirk and said, "I'm a writer. I noticed things and walked off. That little clip blew up within minutes. Now people were picking sides, Team Tina or Team Drake. Some fans applauded her for being bold enough to say what no one in Hollywood has the guts to say. Others said she was completely out of line and jealous of black artistry, thriving in spaces she doesn't control. And then the voicemail dropped. An anonymous tipster sent a screen recording to several gossip pages, including Candidly Cassie, allegedly of a leaked voice message from Tina to someone named Jay, who fans now believe might be a writer on Saturday Night Live. In the voicemail, Tina can be heard saying, "I don't get the hype around Drake. He's not even that clever. And now he wants to play activist too." She continues, "I just rolled my eyes so hard I saw Toronto." The clip is under 20 seconds, but it's packed with shade. No confirmation on its authenticity, but the voice. It sounds exactly like her. And the internet is now divided. Meanwhile, Drake's team is in full damage control mode. His PR manager, Carla Jeffries, released a brief statement saying Drake has nothing but respect for artists who lead with love and not sarcasm. "We hope the focus stays on Kendrick's beautiful tribute and not unnecessary distractions." Sounds mature, right? Except, fans noticed that hours later, Drake posted a cryptic Instagram story with just the word writer. No caption, no context, but the background song. Kendrick's The Heart talk about layers, and it didn't stop there. People started digging even deeper. Reddit threads emerged, pulling up old interviews, award show clips, and even snippets from Tina. Phase 30 Rock that allegedly took low-key shots at hip-hop culture. One user pointed out that back in 2009, Tina made a skit where her character mocked a rapper named Ice J, who wore a gold owl chain and constantly said "take care," a direct hit at Drake's signature phrases and label. At the time, nobody really cared. But now, it's being viewed in a whole new light. Even Amy Poehler got dragged into the mix. People started flooding her Instagram with comments like, "Tell your friend to chill and you laughing too hard, sis. Don't think we didn't see you." Amy, who's usually silent on drama, quietly disabled comments on her last 3 posts. Then there's Kendrick, the man of the hour, the artist whose tribute sparked all of this mess. So far, he hasn't made any direct comments. No interviews, no tweets, no nothing. Just silence. But according to one industry insider who spoke anonymously, Kendrick was deeply disappointed that a moment meant to uplift got reduced to backhanded jabs and Hollywood side talk. The source claimed that Kendrick had personally invited both Drake and Tina Fey to the show to bridge what he saw as a cultural gap between hip-hop and mainstream comedy. Imagine that Kendrick trying to unify the industry and instead sparking a low-key war. Now, fans are speculating even further. Did Tina Fey feel slighted by Kendrick not mentioning her in the tribute speech? Some people noticed that he listed several comedic influences: Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, Wanda Sykes. Even Key and Peele, but didn't mention Tina or Amy at all. Was that the real trigger? As the drama snowballed, celebrities began subtly picking sides. Issa Rae liked a tweet that said, "Funny how certain comedians never laugh when it's not about them." But here's the twist. Instead of dropping a diss track like he did with Meek or Push, sources say Drake was crafting something a little more slick, like Jay's LOL Subliminal, a track that would talk about being underrated by comedy cliques, gatekeepers in glasses, and the phrase that sent fans into a frenzy. Hollywood's funniest writer couldn't pen a hook if the punchline paid her rent. Now that line alone had people saying, "Oh yeah, that's about her." And if you know Drake, you know he loves to be petty with precision. Meanwhile, Tina Fey stayed mostly quiet until her inner circle started talking. A close friend of Tina's, who asked not to be named, allegedly told a gossip blogger that Tina was honestly stunned by how much attention the moment got. She apparently thought it would blow over in a day, but once Drake got involved, she knew things were escalating. The friend said Tina's not scared, but she's annoyed. She didn't name him. She didn't post anything. But now she's the villain in Drake's new drama. Fans started taking sides harder than ever. Team Drake was posting throwbacks of his sketch comedy chops from Saturday Night Live, arguing that he could do both rap and comedy. One user tweeted, "Drake been funnier in one SNL skit than Tina's been in 5 years. Let's talk about it." Another wrote, "So she mad he can rap and host. Sounds like jealousy to me." But Team Tina wasn't backing down either. They argued that Tina was just calling out a long-standing issue in entertainment people getting credit they didn't fully earn. And even if her comment was shady, some said it wasn't entirely false. One viral tweet read, "Y'all mad at Tina for saying what Pusha T said with less bass in his voice? Now remember how we said Drake was in the studio with Part Nexter? Well, apparently Party got a little too excited and liked a tweet that said, 'Tina Fey gon' cry when this beat drop.' Yeah, he unliked it quick, but the screenshots were already out. And that led to Tina's camp going into defense mode. Her rep told Rolling Stone, "This feels like an intentional campaign to paint Tina as some culture vulture villain. She has always respected all forms of artistry and is saddened that a misunderstood comment is being weaponized." But wait till it gets even deeper. Because this isn't just about Drake and Tina anymore. Suddenly, old names started getting dragged back into the mix. Remember the Kendrick and Drake Cold War from 2023? Yeah, fans started theorizing that Kendrick Matove used Tina's shade as a quiet weapon to stir the pot again. Wild, right? But hear this on an old podcast episode from last year. Tina mentioned that Kendrick's team reached out to consult on the writing format of his stage plays, and apparently she declined, saying she was too busy. So now, some folks believe that Kendrick already knew where Tina stood and still invited her to the Emmys. Was that his way of putting her in the spotlight just to let her reveal her own bias? Fans love a conspiracy, and this one took off like wildfire. Even more bizarre. A leaked group chat between several late-night writers surfaced on Reddit, showing them mocking the situation and saying stuff like, "Can't wait to see who Drake cries about next." Someone in that chat was allegedly from Tina's writing circle, which only added fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Amy Poehler had to issue a statement of her own. In a very Amy way, she posted a selfie with a caption that read, "Still processing the Emmys. Proud of Kendrick. Love to all artists. Can we all take a nap now?" A soft, neutral approach, but fans weren't having it. Some said it was tone deaf. Others said she was playing both sides. One fan commented, "Girl, it's not nap time, it's accountability hour." And then, boom! Kendrick's team broke their silence. His manager, Dave Free, posted a cryptic message on Instagram that simply said, "We know who's laughing and who's learning." The caption, just a black heart emoji. No names, no tags. But the comments section blew up. People immediately took it as a quiet shot at Tina Fey and possibly even Amy. One user replied, "You put them in the room. They showed their true colors." Another wrote, "Drake got the pen. Kendrick got the plan. Now imagine this Hollywood's biggest comedian, hip-hop's biggest pop rapper, and arguably the greatest lyricist of this generation, all tangled in one web of shade, silence, and subtle shots." What started as a sweet tribute turned into a full-blown Cold War of words. And just when it felt like it was cooling off, Drake posted again. This time, it was a screenshot of his Notes app. But instead of a paragraph, it was just one sentence. "They don't write like us. They just rewrite us." Ooh boy, the fans went crazy. Think pieces dropped overnight. YouTube reactions flooded in. Candidly, Cassie did a full 25-minute breakdown, crying from laughter and yelling not Drake, calling Tina a remix of Black culture. And then because Drake is always 10 steps ahead, he dropped a teaser trailer on his Instagram story. It was a black screen, violins playing, a voiceover of him saying, "Sometimes the jokes just write themselves." NScene.fans speculated that this was promo for his upcoming project, rumored to be titled Scorpio Season. The trailer dropped on Kendrick's birthday, messy but listened when the internet thought this was the peak moment. A former Saturday Night Live writer came forward on TikTok, Her name, Jenny Lawrence. And Jenny had time. She posted a 5-minute video talking about the toxic elitism behind the scenes of SNL and how certain people, without naming Tina directly, routinely dismissed hip-hop culture as juvenile. She said, "I used to pitch sketches that referenced Kendrick or Cole. And I was told those names won't land with our audience." That video gained over 1.2 million views in 12 hours. And guess who liked it? Solange. That's when you know it's serious. And with the internet now fully split between whether this whole thing is about race, ego, comedy, elitism, or just petty celebrity nonsense, everyone was asking the same thing: what's next? Because Tina Fey wasn't backing down. Sources say she's already written an entire new monologue for her upcoming Netflix special, and that it includes a segment titled Drama from the Audience. Insiders hinted that she might address the Emmys moment directly, possibly even with a skit mocking rappers doing poetry. If that turns out to be true, Hugh War. And Drake. He's moving in silence, like lasagna. But knowing him, a surprise drop is coming. And Kendrick still hasn't said a word, but according to a source close to his team, his silence speaks louder than any verse, because this is where the drama goes from Hollywood shade to straight-up cultural warfare. If you thought this was just going to be a petty back and forth between Tina Fey and Drake, baby, we're now entering the group chat era of this feud. More names, more receipts. And one moment that had fans screaming, "Oh, she's not just being shady, she's being strategic." So remember how we said Tina was working on her Netflix special? Well, she didn't wait long to start filming. Insiders confirmed that taping took place just 5 days after the Emmys. And word got out that a segment called Drama from the Audience had made the final cut. Naturally, fans flooded Twitter and Reddit waiting for leaks. And guess what? They didn't have to wait long. A clip from the taping was leaked by an audience member who clearly had zero chill and a very good camera. The quality, crystal clear. The content, diabolical. Tina stood on stage smiling, sipping tea, and said, "You ever perform so well that someone else's feelings get hurt? I'm sorry, I thought we were clapping for Kendrick, not for crybaby energy from the front row." The crowd gave an awkward laugh, but she wasn't done. She added, "I mean, if I had a team of writers behind me, I'd probably be emotional too. Shout out to Toronto, keep ghostin' king." The internet exploded. Crybaby energy started trending worldwide. Some people were screaming iconic, while others were calling it cringe white. Feminism at its peak. The most viral tweet of the night simply read, "Tina Fey just turned her Netflix special into an audition for a rap battle. What timeline is this?" But then, in true rap fashion, the clapback came faster than anyone expected. Less than 48 hours after that clip went viral, Drake dropped a surprise track, no promo, no warning, just a black and white photo of him as a kid with the caption, "I've been funny too." The track, called Punchlines and Pencils, hit streaming platforms at midnight. And y'all, it was not subtle. Within the first minute, Drake rapped, "They laugh loudest when they fear the shift. I'm just here writing scripts that actually uplift." She got laughs off black jokes. Now she playing the victim, comedy's queen. But her kingdom ain't listening. And then he hit with the knockout line, "You wrote Mean Girls. I lived it. / now you madam in rooms you ain't built." And fans lost their minds. The flow, the pettiness, the tone. Drake was clearly done playing nice. He didn't say her name, but the message was loud and clear. And while his fans were eating it up, there was one react. Yep, Amy Schumer out of nowhere jumped into the convo by reposting Tina's leaked Netflix clip and captioning it. She said, "What we're all thinking, lol. Comedy greater than clout." Instantly, the backlash hit. Fans started pulling up every old clip of Amy Schumer doing questionable jokes, saying problematic stuff and trying to ride waves she wasn't invited to surf. Drake fans were in full attack mode. Someone tweeted, "Amy Schumer entering the Drake versus Tina Fey war is like bringing a Target bag to a Gucci fight. Sit this one out." Another person wrote, "Not Amy trying to form the Marvel comedy universe of white women who hate rap. But the real bombshell came when a producer from Kendrick's camp, known only as V, retweeted the track with a comment. He warned y'all. Now watch the snow melt." Cryptic, but fans believe this was Kendrick quietly co-signing the diss track. And from there, it was chaos. Tina's team rushed to do damage control. APR's statement was released, saying she respects all artists and believes in creative freedom, even if jokes are sometimes taken out of context. Girl, the internet wasn't buying it, especially since Tina then liked a tweet that said, "Can't believe Drake dropped a diss track because someone with classes gave him side-eye." Now, it wasn't just about Drake versus Tina. It was a full-blown cultural debate. Talk shows got involved. The View dedicated an entire segment to it. Whoopi Goldberg defended Kendrick and said, "Some people just don't know how to read the room when they're not the center of it." Meanwhile, Bill Maher tried to defend Tina and got dragged for saying, "Rap artists are just too sensitive these days." Yeah, that didn't go well back in the music world. Drake's streaming numbers skyrocketed. Punchlines and Pencils hit #1 on Apple Music in under 12 hours. But it wasn't just the fans talking. Real ones in the industry started chiming in. Tyler, the creator, went on IG Live and said, "I'm not saying Tina was wrong to have an opinion, but she picked the wrong one to mess with." Drake been petty since Degrassi. Snoop Dogg posted a clip of Drake's diss with the caption, "Rap beef with the writer's room." Man, 2025 different. And just when it seemed like things were going to simmer down, Tina's next move reignited everything. She announced that her Netflix special would now include a bonus segment titled Rap Rebuttal, where she'd address the situation with a freestyle, yup, a freestyle live on Netflix.n. This is where fans split completely. Half were like, "Oh no, this finna be so corny," and the other half were like, "Okay, wait, what if she actually goes in?" Theories started flying. Would she rap? Would she do it in character as Liz Lemon? Would she bring out Amy Poehler for backup bars? But the real reason people tuned in? Curiosity. Because nobody could believe this was really happening. The special dropped, and when that bonus segment hit, the internet held its breath. Tina walked out in a hoodie, stood in front of a mic, and said, "Let's have fun." The beat dropped. Soft, jazzy, and she started rhyming. "I see you in the front row, acting like you own the show, but I've been writing classics since you were rocking cornrows." It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. And when she tried to rhyme with Prime and then Toronto with, I don't know, Hugh, the comments started flying. Within minutes, the freestyle was memed into oblivion. Someone edited her rap with laugh tracks every time she tried to sound tough. Another added ghostwriter credits to the screen as a joke. And then Drake just posted one GIF on his story, Kermit sipping tea. But the real dagger? Cardi B went live and said, "I love Tina Fey, but she not made for this. This ain't SNL, baby. This is the trenches." This was supposed to be a tribute to Kendrick Lamar and Emmy moment, a celebration of Black excellence. Instead, we got shade from Tina Fey, a cryptic nod from Kendrick, a surprise diss from Drake, and a comedy civil war that dragged in everyone from Amy Poehler to Amy Schumer to Meghan Markle. And let's not forget the behind-the-scenes exposes, the leaked emails, the freestyles, and the merch drops. This wasn't just Hollywood drama, this was culture versus comfort zones. And the whole world tuned in. But here's the real question. Who do you think crossed the line? Was Tina Fey just being sarcastic and misunderstood? Or did she intentionally throw shade to reclaim the spotlight? Did Drake overreact, or was he just defending his legacy? And what about Kendrick? Was this all part of a bigger message? Is silence the most powerful response of all? We need to hear from you right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Tina, Team Drake, Team Kendrick? Or just Team can y'all chill before someone drops a documentary? Don't forget to like this video if you live for celebrity mess. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode of Realer Than Reality. And turn those post notifications on because this saga ain't over. Stay locked in, stay petty, and we'll see you next time.